Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Jay Donovan.
Aaron Cook.
Jeff Fischer.
Hi, Jeff Fischer. Hi, Jay.
And me, Todd Novak.
Hi, Todd.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So, man, we had this last week went by really, really fast.
It feels like 4 days or something.
Yeah. I don't know. It just went fast. Which is not relevant at all if you're listening to this. But anyways, so hey guys,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's.
what's new with you, Aaron? What is new with you, brother?
It's been a battle.
Yeah,
between us.
Jeff
Again.
and I are actually gonna.
Did you guys have a battle?
We're battling.
Oh, I love it.
Mix and master battle.
What?
And it's not over yet. We're just getting started, I think.
Yeah, based on Chris's idea of sharing tracks, mastering down.
Mastering down your tracks?
Yeah. Mixing and then mastering and then listening and then repeating the cycle.
And like, what the hell are we trying to do?
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing. So here's the skinny.
Okay. Tell me the skinny.
Jeff was looking for something to do because he sucks at writing songs.
Yes.
So I said, hey, I got something you can do that's constructive, perhaps. Mm-hmm.
We will learn a lot.
Let me put a song, a Logic track up into the old Dropbox, and you can go into that box and pull it down, and we can have ourselves a mix battle.
Mix off.
That's really
mix
interesting.
off.
Mix off.
So
You got to come up with a better name, though.
Yes, we're working on the name.
Mix off. It's got to be funnier than that. Better.
well, it's the best we can do at
More
the moment.
curious. I don't know. That's not really a thing. Mixed tap. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
master
I'm gonna
off?
I'm gonna
Master
ruin
off?
this.
Yeah, a mix.
Yeah, master off. I like that.
Master off.
Master off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So, yeah, we've been going back and forth. Mostly, how many mixes and masters have you done now?
4.
I think more than I actually have.
Yeah,
Shocker.
some of them aren't worthwhile. There are like very minimal changes between them, but the only way to actually hear them was to like produce them, throw them on SoundCloud, so you can listen to them whenever you want, wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy just to mix them down, throw them up there quickly.
Yeah.
So the challenge is many in this whole process. So again, we're not professionals in any way, shape, or form. So part of the fun is learning some of these things, which are very frustrating.
Yeah. Basically, there's something in all the minutia that Jeff and I just can't do right.
Because sounds so confident.
Because
I mean, is there any kind of contention where you're trying to goad or bait him into mastering?
no, not at all. No, it's nothing like
That
that.
was
So
God, that was bad.
so yeah, no, nothing
No.
like that.
No.
Dang. Okay, so what were some of the
So the recurring themes, perhaps.
what were some of the pitfalls or
Jeff?
highlights?
Highlights were amazing how different everything sounds on a different set of speakers or headphones, and how you mix or master to that one set that you have on your head.
Yeah.
And the realization once you step outside of that is like how effed up that was,
Right.
how effed up the sound was, and then beginning to try to figure out how you balance between those two things was interesting.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest challenge too, and that's why these guys are professional.
Well,
let's
Chris
shed new
Graham.
light on what
Professional
Chris's
master.
challenges are, I suppose, huh?
yeah. So I mean, it's like there's
Jeff has restless leg syndrome, by the way. He's like,
I do too, and it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Anyways,
It's terrible.
loudness wars. Jeff and I have talked about What were some of the wonderful things we were discussing today at lunch? It was a great conversation that you guys missed, by the way. So.
Yeah, whatever.
Jeff?
Didn't get
I don't know. It was great conversation.
Oh, I was
Riveted.
Yeah, the entire time.
I think the final conclusion, which wasn't really a conclusion, but the next chapter is to dive in deep into EQing the mix.
Yes.
And that holds the key, the potential key
It might.
to solving our
Sounds
problem.
like we need to
Yeah, so-
re-enlist our friend Chris Forbes again to maybe get.
Is it
or
Chris
not
Forbes?
Chris Forbes, Chris Graham.
I was
Chris
gonna
Forbes
say,
is our
like,
other
are we
buddy.
making up names for him now?
Chris Forbes is going to be a guest with us sometime very soon.
We were actually thinking the same thing. Maybe we should bring
Yeah.
him back in and solve this
Chris
battle.
Graham. Bring
Yeah,
him back
This
in.
master battle.
So,
You could have him jack into the listen to the mix.
Ooh, well played.
yeah.
Oh, brother. Okay.
But take that jack off, though.
Oh, see, now we got to edit that.
Why?
I'm sure we do.
No, I was saying, like, take
Taking
the
off the
jack
jack.
off of
You got to take
the
you do.
input, right? So,
Yes.
All right, we just
It's-
lost like 20
gotta-
people, right?
anyways.
Okay.
It's fun to me.
Anyways.
But, so, yeah, this potential key lock mechanism that Jeff and I are thinking is like...
It's never not funny.
I'm already thinking of other. I was like,
Okay. Okay.
I might edit. I'm going to edit a lot.
Your voice
out
is
of
getting
this.
so high. I've never heard this. It's a new range.
Todd, you should probably leave the room and...
What happened? I missed something. I missed something.
This is great.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah,
Get
so
to your point.
The point is, you and I both kind of want to try being more cognizant of where
He said cognizant.
Yeah. Where we're EQing each instrument or instrument group so that we're not having competing frequencies that are messing up the mix and henceforth the master. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's all we know. We've learned nothing else.
Okay, so I have a question on that.
Okay.
What instrument did you guys find to be most troublesome to master in your first run?
Everything in the mid-range.
Yes. Mid-range is the most clouded piece of the music. Most energy.
Guitars, snare. Yeah. Guitars and snare, I would say.
Yeah, bass in general, though, is the hardest one to try to capture accurately, though, too. Because that's the one that has the biggest effect on the different things you're listening to and where you listen to. So bass has such a challenge to figure out and EQ properly because of cancellations and all that good stuff based on, I'm in a small room, I'm in a big room, I'm in a car. So bass sounds different everywhere. So that is a challenge. I mean, luckily in today's world, there are some, nice tools and plugins and, like a studio drummer or whatnot, which already has pre-mixed drums that does help a ton, right?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, they get you to a point versus like setting up a live drum set and trying to mix a live drum set.
Which would be awful.
Are you saying you're using like a pre-recorded track for drums, or are you plugging in your electronic set?
It's all triggered drums.
Yeah.
There's no real drums involved in that. It's all
No, but
sampled
what I'm
drums.
saying is, are you playing? Because I know you have an electronic set at your house,
No, so basically, Cook put together the song.
right? Cook
So-
put together a song, and you don't have electronic drums at your house.
No, I program using the hyper editor
Okay,
on my beats, my fat beats.
right.
Yeah. But then I also use a plugin called Easy Drummer 2.
Okay,
And
interesting.
So yeah, I mean they're recorded samples. But who knows, Jeff? I mean, maybe they just screwed up when they actually
I don't
did the studio session for that.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a reach.
Is it?
But I think the other thing is that there's so much of that sound that is, kind of the vision of what the song should be or what you think it should sound like in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So like,
well, that's why you got to keep switching over to a reference song,
right?
Which you haven't been doing, even though Chris said you need to do it.
Yes, you are correct.
I know I'm correct. I'm always correct.
Yes, you are correct.
You are correct. Actually, quite a lot.
Actually, I feel like
I will vouch for that. I think
I appreciate
like
that, but I feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room.
Well, I didn't say you weren't. I just said you're correct a lot.
Okay.
Cool. So keep us posted on how that is going.
Oh, yeah.
That would be an interesting thing. So I don't have Logic, but I have. I love GarageBand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we kind of uncovered a way to do that. It would be interesting to see maybe what I could do with that track and the same, and
That would be interesting, yeah. I still have the
Can you import? I should be able to import that, yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to bring in a lot of plugins. Yeah, there's a lot of plugins.
You could probably like bounce everything down.
Well, maybe I can just do my own track and then I'll master it in GarageBand, and then you guys can bring it into GarageBand as well, because I know that you both have GarageBand, and see what the differences are.
A GarageBand master battle.
Be right.
Mm-hmm. You in?
Yeah.
Cool. Jay, what do you got going on?
So we were talking about those cobalt strings last week, and so I haven't done anything, but I've been thinking of something all week since we started talking about it. And I was reading about how Paul McCartney used to play piano strings, like way back in the day. Yeah, they were like hard to come by bass strings sometimes. I don't remember where I read this, but he used to sometimes use piano strings. And so
that's insane.
I've been thinking about it like all week, because we have a piano and it desperately needs tuned, and the strings are it's super old, right? It's my grandmother's piano.
If anybody can corroborate that story, please do so.
I checked it out I verified it on Talk Bass. A couple people were talking about it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So anyway, I just got to thinking, like, if we have to restring the piano, like, I would want to like maybe try to see what, just for the heck of it, see what it sounds like to play a bass with piano strings. And that's what I've been thinking.
If you had to restring the bass.
If we had to take the strings out of the piano. Because our piano is like totally like 50 years old and it's just not in good shape, and we have to get it tuned. If some of the strings needed replaced, I would just kept thinking to myself all week, I want to snag those. And even though they'll sound like, if they're bad enough that they don't work on a piano anymore.
Do something
experiment to see what a bass sounded like actually with piano strings. That's the only. That's just something I keep
buy
thinking
like
about.
a cool like beater bass to do that with.
Yeah, like I imagine, like, what's the tension difference? Is it different?
How different are they?
Break your? I don't know. If he used to do it, he's the governor, right?
I don't have a piano. How thick are the bass strings in piano? Are they like regular bass string thickness?
Some of them are way thicker.
Oh,
you go way down to the end.
Yeah.
Like it would be.
They'll kill a man.
Kill a man with that string.
So that's the only new thing going through my small mind
that's
this week.
Cool. I like it. Do you know why he chose to do that?
I think. No, I thought they were hard to come by. I thought it was hard to find electric bass strings
pilfering
sometimes.
a piano would be harder to do than get a set of bass strings. But
think about it, pianos are probably everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in your house.
In the 60s.
Good job, Jeff.
Well, I would give it to Paul McCartney if he asked for a string off that piano. Actually, I'd probably say, no, you're better than that.
Now, do you know our piano strings? I know zero about piano strings, so I have no qualms about asking stupid questions here. Are piano strings round wound? Are they flat wound? Are they wound at all?
Yeah, they're wound. I think they're just regular wound.
Are all of them wound?
I've looked at them and I don't know. They have three. They're multiple, right? They have, each one has different. It's not like there's one string always, right?
Yeah.
For let's look it up.
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
information. Go for it.
I seem to recall
Right,
looking in
like,
there and thinking that the hammer hits more than one string at a time. There's like three all tuned to the same.
I know they're
It
not
goes
all
and hits
wound.
2.
Yeah, I didn't think they were.
No, they're definitely not all wound. I'm just wondering, like usually the lower strings are the ones that are wound, right? Because they have to build up the thickness, and that's the easiest way to build up the thickness. But
let's see what we got here.
I tell you, they are beautiful things, though. We're looking at the inside of a piano right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not in person.
So look, these are some of them are wound, and then there are multiple strings. The hammer hits 2 strings.
Well, look, on the lower...
So it looks like, the higher strings need 2.
2,
The
and then the
lower
lower
strings
strings
need
just 1. Yeah.
and maybe
Fascinating.
man,
We're learning about pianos on guitar knobs.
That's got to be a fortune replacing those things, all right?
Oh, man.
But wouldn't it be sweet to take the lowest, like maybe the lower E than the regular?
Yeah, an octave lower than...
And then see what that sounds like.
Have you seen the guy that made a bass guitar with one giant massive string? I just came
No.
across this the other day on YouTube.
Like a rope?
It's probably like a half-inch thick or so. This string. So
Is it like the big pipe thing?
it's a no.
Oh, yeah, the
It's
thing
a bass
that...
guitar.
What's that called? It's like
Wait,
the
I've
machine.
seen that.
It's like 10 feet tall. And the
I
guy,
haven't seen that. But I've seen the one where it's the bass. It's basically a tubular bass, and the strings are set up around about half of the circumference. Yeah, of the bass, and the actual tuning pegs are staggered. It's really wild, and it seems like it would actually be relatively comfortable to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's see if we can put one of that. Find an image and throw that up on the Facebook group. That pipe bass. It's kind of wild. Yeah. Anyway, cool. If you do that, that will be a sick project to attempt.
I will. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Interesting. As for me,
Wait, yeah, you. What about you?
Yeah, me time. So I recently got myself into a new tuner pedal, and I did a whole bunch of research.
I mean, there's more than one?
Oh yeah, man.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's loads. I know that was a leading question, but yeah, there's loads, and I naturally was like, well, why are there so many? Because it seems like a basic thing, and some are more complex, some are smaller chassis. There's the range in them is obviously like really big, and more so than not, people go for the Boss one.
Yeah, I think that's like the default one.
That's one that everybody's.
That's what I have.
That's what I had.
Didn't want that one. I like Boss pedals. I didn't want that one because
You just want to be different? Which is a fine answer.
No, 2 reasons. Number one, I didn't want to spend a grip of money on a tuner if I didn't have to, because it does one thing, and it's really, really basic. The other thing that I was considering in this was visibility. So if I'm on stage, I've looked down at the Boss ones and I'm like, man, I just want to be able to see it like big.
Yeah,
am I on or am I not? Am I, give me a better visual readout. So I took that versus...
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, it must. You should tell me about it sometime. Hey. Yeah. So anyways, with a tuner pedal, it's not something where you have to say, man, I really want to go for some boutique tuner pedal. And I actually found one on Monoprice, which is sort of like not exactly a place that most people go to for guitar stuff, but it was $19. And I checked it up against watch. There's quite a few videos out there where these guys are doing some pretty solid comparisons, and you might think, well, what are they comparing in a tuner pedal? Of course, it tunes, but the time that it takes from the time that you hit the note to the time where you see where you're at actually varied quite a bit. So some of the more popular ones that you might see on Amazon or eBay, or elsewhere, Sweetwater, Guitar Center, whatever, had a longer latency latency in the time that your signal showed from the time that you hit it. That was really curious, and it's got to be something in the wiring. It's true bypass. It has a huge readout on it. So it's got a very, very large blue readout, but it also has your flat and sharp levels as well. And you can adjust the pitch. You can go for flat if you want. So if you're tuning in flat, so that if you're hitting really, really hard. What else does it have on it? No, that is not it. The Minister of Information has pulled up something that doesn't look remotely like.
Yeah, he's pulling up a Boss stage tuner.
It's an interesting concept though of tuning. How do you guys, when you tune, it's going to go sharp or flat, right? As you go through the sequence of tuning. Mm-hmm. So I've read a couple different ways to do it. Uh-huh. How do you approach it? Do you play hard?
I've gone back and forth on that. I think we all learn just sort of stumbling into it, where you say, I'm just going to touch the string, and then I'm going to just touch the note, and it should give me the read. And there are, again, loads of videos, loads of opinions on, hey, if you're doing it that way, you're doing it wrong. I actually like watching groovy DJs on YouTube, who's a very entertaining, maniacal dude. He's got a lot of guitar knowledge. It's debatable whether people like it all. The wood tone wars, I think, started with him. But one of the things that I really dug about one of his videos was how he got into, like, hey, if you're just tuning it like standard and you're not playing it while you're tuning it, you're doing it wrong. I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but that was an intriguing idea. And so then I started saying, well, let me try doing this without, because sometimes I did feel like, man, it's just not true. If I'm playing, once I start playing, it sounds off. So I started doing it where I was tuning while I was giving it some gusto, and so tuning flat.
Yep.
What do you guys do? I bang on the string a little bit, where it's a few cents sharp on attack, and then just see how it sustains out for a second or two, and if it goes to pitch, then that's where I stop.
That's where I go. I do the same. String. Do the same. I seem to find that one, like if you're not tuning with a machine, tuning by ear, that process seems to work better for me.
You're saying if you're not
using a device to tune by and you're tuning by ear, then the resonating out approach seems to work better.
Well,
because you don't get the initial, it's too fast to get that initial pick, that sharp pick sound right away. So it's just interesting because it does capture it through the device, right? That sharp pick attack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and it is interesting if you are tuning while you're playing, while you're attacking, right? And you spike up to dead center, and then you ease off and you just do a single fretted, like, easy note. Almost every single time it's like 2 cents off. Flat.
Yep.
You can gauge it. So you could, in effect, what we're saying is not attack the thing and just go 2 cents flat, and then if you are playing, you'd be right on the money, in theory. Debatable.
No, it's almost to a point of personal preference, really.
Yeah.
And what sounds good to your ear.
Being in tune.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Mostly in tune.
Why is everyone looking at me?
Is it personal preference to be in tune?
I think it's what works.
the P bass stays in tune. I don't know. I never had any problem.
P
at all.
bass.
Basses are true.
Yeah, you get it on there and you get it set, and the electric is good to go to the upright. I have to tune
That's
it
true.
Like every
You have an
between every two
assistant for
songs.
that, right?
Yeah, there was
Basically
there are
stands
4
on a
small
ladder and
elves
just-
that come out of the out of the bag, and
You got a
no,
bag?
probably every 2 songs I check it a lot.
Really?
Especially if it's outside too. A gig
Oh, yeah.
outside,
Oh,
upright
yeah.
is like just very seems like maybe I have a crappy upright, but it seems very affected by the room temperature.
I would imagine.
Yeah, for more on his upright, check one of the our earlier podcasts in which you go into great
More
detail.
on
I think that was our first one, wasn't
I think
it?
it was number 1.
How it
Yeah.
got stolen and recovered.
Yes.
Stolen and recovered. Yeah, cool. So anyways, totally dig the tuner. It was $19. Didn't break the bank. Ta-da. Works great. Mono price. I dig it.
Yeah, that's seems like it's a good find.
Cool. All right, we're going to hit our main topic right now this week.
I heard already.
I hope you heard already.
Hurt.
Oh, you heard already.
Yeah.
Yes. So our main topic is
There's a paint
Jay,
down.
what's the main topic?
Something you traded and you regret. Something you sold.
Sold and or traded that you miss and or regret.
Yep.
I felt like that was like a game show a little bit.
A little bit.
It
So
is
we already
sort
heard
of
it
like
says?
a game show.
We already heard a story from Jay about that. So
What?
We interesting to hear his other one.
Well, the other one would be
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
You're
want me to-
no.
am I
yeah,
up?
it's
You're
your
up, buddy.
the Polytone Mini Brute.
3.
Whoa.
It wasn't a 3.
Oh, okay.
It had a 3. It had a 3 like protector over it, but it wasn't actually a 3. And it's a guitar amp that someone I bought at a super friend price from a super friend. Super friend.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No, I bought it from a friend, and I kind of used it for a bass amp for a while. It was a solid state, and this one was, and it had an output though. You could send it out. You could send it out to the PA or whatever. It was just kind of neat. I mostly liked it for guitar. I used it for a little while as a bass amp, stupidly, but mostly later I played it. The alley cat through it a lot, and you couldn't overdrive it or anything like that. Really, it was more like when you wanted to have your try to fake Joe Pass, riffs. It had that real clean sound. But then I sold it to a friend for another friend at friend prices, and I was like, man, I just liked it because it was weird and it was just small and easy to carry around, and it had this was cool, had vibe, and I regret it.
So it was just
Yeah,
a sound thing.
just the sound.
So it's pretty much a clean.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
It was like a jazz guitar.
Two? Or
No,
just
it was solid state. The one I had was solid state. So I don't even know if they ever. I don't know if they made it. Honestly, I don't know very much about them, and probably that's why I let it go, because I don't know. I didn't know about it until later. It's kind of a cool. I just wish I had it back.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
what
I don't
you
know
got
why.
until it's gone.
Oh man, don't you even?
He took the bait. I baited him.
Yeah. Hey,
Like
Aaron,
a master.
Aaron.
Yes, he baited
Aaron.
that guy.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
What is your? Hey, Aaron.
You see what
might
I'm saying?
cry. I think he's getting
You see
ready
what
to
I'm
cry.
saying?
It's like I almost don't want to talk about it. It hurts, but okay. So here's what it was: 1999, 2000.
Another summer. Oh man, I can't believe I just did that, but it's true. I did. Go ahead.
I went all out on a bass amp, so I dropped a cool $2,400 on a head and cab. Both by SWR. So the head was they called it Bass 350. 350 watt at 4 ohms, 450 watts at 2 ohms. And then I fed that into SWR Big Bertha cabinet, which was 215s and a horn. So I remember playing it at Guitar Center, and I'm thinking, even before I turned the amp on, I'm like, 215s, this is going to sound like crap. It's just going to be all bass. But I don't know. That thing was tuned just right. It got you the full spectrum. Amazingly balanced. So SWR was were you ever into SWRs?
No. I wanted one. I wanted one for a while. They had the nice grill on the front.
Yeah,
and
chrome.
It seemed like they're kind of sharp.
Yeah, it was awesome. So what happened was, I wasn't playing bass in bands anymore. I was more focused on. I had switched over to being a guitarist in bands, and so just in a need for money, I sold it to my buddy. I'm like, okay, at least it's going somewhere close. So, maybe I can have visitation rights with it, every so often.
Conjugal visit.
Yeah. Very conjugal.
Super conjugal.
So, yeah, I sold it to my buddy, and this kind of went under the radar, but about a month later, I went out to see a show by his band, and he didn't have that amp. I'm like, what gives? So I talked to him after the show. I'm like, dude, what happened to that SWR I sold you? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, yeah, I traded that and got this, what was it? I think it was a bass. And I'm like,
you should have told me, dude.
I know, seriously. I was just so angry and hurt. And I'm not over it yet.
Here come the tears.
I'm not over it yet.
Pause.
A moment of silence.
Yeah.
Would you get another one? Would you ever try to replace that? I guess that's the same thing, isn't it?
Technically,
it's the same thing.
You might need those 215s sometime in the future.
Why?
I don't know. I'm trying to help you buy it back.
Well,
it's a reason.
It's funny because SWR was bought out by Fender, and they don't necessarily make the same models anymore. In fact, I don't even know the last time I've seen an SWR on a showroom floor. But as I was just researching to find out which actual models I had, I saw a couple options on reverb.com at a pretty reasonable price. I'm like, maybe. But honestly, if I was ever back into being a gigging bass player again, that I would probably go out of my way to.
We're going to have to talk about that at further length. Like, why on earth would you not want to be out gigging if you could? But that's a different story.
Yeah, there's.
See, I just took that right out from under you.
I know. It's like, and now I'm all ready to talk about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
No.
Another
time.
Yep.
Well, best of luck on your your endeavors to get that back in your life.
Thanks.
Hefe.
Yes,
what you got?
So I'm going to kind of go in my Wayback Machine here.
Mm-hmm. Take us to the Wayback Machine.
Do you get that, Jay, over there? It was a Digitech digital delay from like 80 something. And this delay was it was interesting because it had a repeat, hold, and a bypass. So the official name of it is, what is this? PDS 1002. And sound-wise, I don't really know. I was young at the time, like, well, that's amazing. I guess today it's like, yeah, it sounds like an 80s delay, which is fine. So this was back again when I got rid of it way back in late 80s, where I went to the guitar shop and like, I don't really play this or use this anymore. I want to get rid of it. And the guy at the shop's like, I'll give you $25 for that. I'm like, all right, $25. Took the money, laid it on the desk. 2 minutes later, the guitar teacher at the time walked behind me. He's like, oh, that's a sweet pedal. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that's a really cool pedal. You selling that? Like, yeah. It's like, oh man, I would have gave you $50 for that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it from the guy here now. And he's like, this pedal's cool. I'm like,
which
why
is also now $50.
Yeah. Like, why is it so cool? And he's like, wow, it's got this loop hold on it where you can create loops. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, what's that?
Not that I would ever use it, but I'm like, damn, it was more of the spite. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what to do with that looper thing.
Right.
I don't know if I would have done anything with it. I didn't know it was there. And the fact that the guy would have given me $50 for it right after. So
I'm actually interested in getting a looper these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so you sold that for $25.
A looper?
now the Digitech delay.
A looper?
It wasn't a looper. It's a 2-second digital delay.
Yeah.
I know, but Todd said looper.
Oh yeah, he did say looper.
Yeah.
And just a quote
Lupus.
from Caddyshack just comes to mind.
Okay. I don't know what quote that is. I don't know that you do either right now.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay. So, Hefe,
Yes, sir.
in one of my first bands, our vocalist had one of these,
Oh yeah.
and he ran his vocals through it, which
Cool.
could get really crazy.
Yeah.
We had this one song in particular that he used it really, really heavy. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that and please don't attack me on the socials if this is not true, but I'm pretty sure this is what Perry Farrell was using in the early days, which is where our singer got the
Right.
inspiration to do it.
Yeah.
I had a singer demand on having a delay pedal as well because
Yeah.
of Perry Farrell.
Yeah, but with this particular one,
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, this was a big deal when that came out. With having both those functionalities in the same pedal, I mean, pedals just weren't quite as advanced. As
Yeah, I was looking to see if this was like one of the originals. I couldn't really find anything that
Yeah.
like this was one of the original
it's just
loopers.
it's instantly recognizable.
It's
Yeah.
not a looper.
It's not a looper, but it could be used as one, which made it that's like the interesting part about it.
Yeah,
It
I mean, it's not a
created-
true looper in the sense of like a ditto pedal or something like that is right now, but or maybe it is.
It's not.
It isn't. Okay.
I mean, but you could loop and you could keep building on the loops.
Right.
So it did function that way.
Interesting. It'd be fun to get one of those back. Let's see if we can find one.
They're out there. I was actually looking them up. They're $25.
Are you kidding?
Still
You're kidding me.
No, they're still.
Well, why aren't you buying it, man?
I don't really.
Just buy it. We'll expense it on the account that we
Oh,
don't have
yeah, that's
on
a
our
good idea.
non-existent budget.
Yeah, I'll go in on it.
All right.
We got to get a budget so we can get stuff.
Then we'll share it
Yeah,
and test
I
it
like
out.
that plan. I'm into that.
A budget.
Both things.
Okay.
Get that pedal.
All right.
Get that pedal, son. Okay. For me, I had an early 80s Fernandes Telecaster. And I was playing a really low slung Gibson Les Paul in my bands. And so I had this really big, heavy Gibson sound. And my rig was redunculous. So I thought, again, very early on, and we just didn't have all this information out there. It seems like, like doing this now has got to be way easier than it was when we were doing it. But anyways, I just trial and error. I was like, well, I need to change my guitar sound. I want to get past where my previous band was. And I went and sold. I sold like I think it was one of those early Squier Fenders where they tried to make them like the Ibanez's. So there's like the metal Squire. There was two versions. There was like a really skinny one that was kind of like Joe Satriani style, and then there was another one that was more of a standard body. And I think those are the ones that they were saying recently. I think it might have been on our friends from Guitar Nerds, that they were saying that almost like brought the Fender house down, like it bankrupted them almost, because they were so bad. I could be mixing that story up. It's highly probable. But I just shot the Minister of Information over here a link to pull that up so you guys can look at it. But anyway, it was really cool. It was Olympic white. It had a white pickguard. It had a rosewood fingerboard, and it was a telly, and it had it was just cool. I ultimately, because I have to mess with everything, took the white pickguard off and put a tortoiseshell pickguard on, for reasons none other than I wanted to mess with it.
And then tried painting flames on that one too.
No, I didn't do that. And it was really weird because when you go from for years of playing a Les Paul, all of a sudden jumping on a telly, that is a world of difference. And I guess I just didn't have the hang of it. And the new band that I was getting in, it didn't really jive with that. I think the sound and the aesthetic of it either. And
what was this, like a cock rock band?
I don't know what that is, man.
What is that?
Like, did you just make that up?
No.
You mean like frat rock?
No. Like, hair metal. 80s hair metal.
Oh, okay.
That's all I have in my head. A young Todd.
You mean that's what I was playing?
Yeah, you were in California.
No, man, it was like
Skid Row.
I never heard it called cock rock.
No. Yeah.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I wonder if I am making it up.
You might be making it up. But that's cool. It's a good name.
Yeah, it's pretty
fitting. My early influences were like,
Flock of
Soundgarden. Yeah. Soundgarden and Jane's and stuff like that. But I sold that to a friend of mine for $125. And I kick myself constantly for doing that. But I needed to get money to buy my Sheraton too, which I really wanted, more than the telly. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting because I always got asked, like, why did you get a Fernandes? Like, it's not a super common, not really a super common guitar.
Right.
And if you go out there and look now, like in guitar forums and stuff, it's like, hey, if you find one of those, grab it, because they're actually really well made and they play great. And I tried out a Telecaster, Fender Telecaster, and this Fernandes side by side, plugged them both in, and I had no bias towards either one at that time. And this one it sounded way better. And so I liked it, and I really wish I hadn't sold it, because that would have been a great punk guitar,
Let's sigh.
Yeah, let's sigh.
Let's take it down a notch.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, so that was kind of like a sad main topic, huh? With a lot of love lost there. But
Cheers.
Hey, the big lesson there is, and our friend,
keep everything
Matt
you
Toledo,
ever buy forever.
Yeah, keep it. Don't ever sell your stuff. Which
is that his motto?
I really haven't followed that at all. Yeah, but I think he's only got like 2 guitars, so I've never seen him. But he's not really a.
You are a buyer and seller and trader of gear.
I'm an importer exporter.
Yes.
I don't buy anything sold or traded. I don't trade anything.
I did have to actually look at my guitar family tree that I created.
Yeah.
To verify that.
Wow.
The year and everything, or what years it was.
Do you have that tree visualized?
I do.
Do you have it right there in front of you?
I do have it right here in front of me. Would you guys like to see it?
I would love to see it.
All right. Nobody else can see it though.
Well,
I mean,
That's all right.
We can
We'll
post
make it
pictures.
right.
short.
I mean, it just looks. It's the beginnings of it. I haven't.
Okay. I thought there were
I
going to
just
be
started
pictures.
mapping it out. I'm
and-
going to do pictures.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it like a poster, man.
Yeah, that would be fun.
A living poster in digital worlds.
I have to
That statement
You have
just
to what? You have
issue
to
one
use the
correction.
restroom?
No, I have to. I have to go to the bathroom. No, I have to issue one correction. I misspoke earlier. I said a polytone 1 with a polytone 3 case. It was the opposite.
There's a polytone
I had a
3 with
polytone 3 with the polytone 1 because it was the 15 inch. It was
Man,
the 15 inch.
You
so
probably saved us from
just want to get
hell
that
in
out.
the
Yeah.
social sphere.
Right. It
Someone's
was a
probably
3.
waiting
It was a
outside
3
your
solid
house.
state with a 15 inch speaker. So
No,
just
that-
wanted to. I feel so much better.
I know, but that's the kind of thing when you say and you're like,
Well, it was a long time ago, and
why did I say that? And now that's in the podcast.
Yeah, like walnut body.
Good man.
recovered.
Walnut body.
Yeah, my guitar is walnut body. It was not walnut. I said
Yeah.
walnut like 5 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's maple.
No, it's mahogany.
Mahogany. Yeah. I got a pistachio body guitar.
Oh, that would be
Pretty
sweet.
great.
Dude, I love
Pistachios.
I wonder what a pistachio tree like wood looks like.
I don't know.
Do pistachios grow on trees?
Pistachio.
No, but the
Minister of
guitar
Information.
guitar
Pistachios
probably
grow on
tastes
trees.
delicious.
Yeah.
Pistachios.
This guitar is ugly, but it tastes delicious. All right, dudes. We are going to get down to our top 4. Aaron, can we have a time check?
46 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh, man. Perfecto. Got this down to
I know
a
it's
completely unscientific science.
getting scary.
All right, so we're going to do our top 4 for the day. And that topic is, what is your favorite finish on a guitar? There are so many to choose from.
Why don't you go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you don't go first that much.
I know.
We need
offer
you
it
to.
up. You need me to go first?
Yeah.
Well, this is a tricky one because
It
it
is.
doesn't necessarily mean that your favorite finish is something that you actually have.
Right, I'm with you on that.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I already guessed what
No,
I thought I guessed.
well,
what
you
Jeff's
did,
was,
but that's not what I'm going with.
but I was pretty much right on the money.
That's
before.
one of them.
Right.
That's one of them.
And so my favorite finish, honestly, has got to be black. I know that sounds weird, but
Not at all.
I mean,
Kind
if
of.
I'm looking at something on the
strange.
wall, I love like a piano black. I think it just looks amazing, especially, if you think about it, a nice tuxedo finish, like, Les Paul. Oh man, mamacita.
Yeah, I had a
The binding that's aged.
yeah. I had an Epiphone Les Paul that was like that.
Yeah.
I kind of miss that guitar too.
Yeah. It's just everything's done right on
Yeah.
it. Between the gold and now here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Yeah, I mean on that one you got to go gold hardware, pearl inlay.
So
age
you're-
white binding.
Yeah, you're
piano black. I mean,
You're talking Les Paul custom then.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I think
That's the
those
only
are-
time I
those are
find gold
gorgeous.
hardware appropriate.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I have it on my Sheraton too, and it looks really good on that. It looks super good on that. But there's not. I think there's kind of like a resurgence in like gold hardware right now. I feel like I'm seeing that a lot more, especially in like Franken-Tellys and Frankenstrats, where, or anything that you're building your own stuff. A lot of builds. Boutique builds that you see on like Instagram and stuff are using elements of gold hardware. I just, I like it. It just don't have any other reason. I will say that I don't like it on a flat body. So I don't like straight black on a Telecaster. Okay. I love straight black on the arch top.
You like the shimmery shine.
Yeah, or the carved top. Sorry. Yeah. It's just the dimension to it. Yeah.
Shimmery shine.
Calm down over there.
Yeah. Minister of Information is multitasking
All right.
I am.
You want
So
me
we're
to
going
go?
to go to Hefe.
All right, mine's going to be controversial.
Oh,
It is. It's
good.
going to be like the Ibanez acrylic jewel or something.
No,
geez.
well,
Wine?
maybe not quite. Well, you know, I was
I'm
going to go.
close, huh?
You know, I was going to go wood. I mean, that is my
Yeah,
choice of
it is.
just a nice hunk of wood,
Yeah.
and mostly unfinished, like oiled or something like that. But there has been something over the last probably 2 years that I've been looking at. Like, it's like this is a really cool artistic application for the guitar, and it's getting to the point where it's getting overdone, which that's why it's controversial.
Okay.
But as far as a finish that I've been inspired by, and like, wow, I would be really cool to like build my own type of thing like that, is the truss art guitars.
Oh, yeah.
So
Is that, can you call that a finish though?
why wouldn't you?
Because he's got a lot of different
It's
finishes.
finished.
So you gotta pick
this is-
one.
So this is the challenge of the question.
All right.
Mr. Information Guy, could you throw up that link I sent you over there?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's many to choose from, right?
Right. Heavily distressed.
Heavily distressed, but they're metal, right?
Yeah.
So it's not your standard wood.
interesting.
Like, it's not, I'm going to get a wood guitar. It's like, I want to get a metal, made out of metal guitar. So the idea of a completely custom.
Aaron's face is twisted. His beard's halfway on the side of his face looking at this image.
It's like a
So once
Is
you,
that's the one that you like?
it's not
it's like a
necessarily the one.
steampunk almost.
I know.
It's very steampunk, like I
a,
said.
It's like a Mexican steampunk.
So just put in a search for truss art there and do images. But I mean, yeah, they're all
It
very
looks
similar.
like one of those tooled leather things, like the heavy duty.
But like from a finish standpoint, everybody's trying to do like the vintage finishes and this distressed
Right. That's going to be a
look
topic
and-
for, I believe, maybe our next one.
So it was
Relic
like
versus road worn.
like that's trying too hard versus someone that like created an art form out of guitar.
But okay, so to be fair,
Stop.
to be fair, it's not just the application. I mean, these guitars are actually made out of metal,
Yeah.
right? So I think he first started his applications with Telecaster bodies, correct?
Some of the Telecasters are really sweet.
Yeah, some of them are not.
Yeah. So it's they're pick and choose and they're high dollar. I've never touched one.
Yeah,
Don't know if they sound like crap or not, but I was just amazed. Like,
but they
coming
got to
from
sound
a-
different, right? They
Yeah,
got to
I
sound
would
like
think.
really resonant and
I would
really
think.
sort of.
just coming from a creative background, like I was kind of, and the idea of just creating
Something different, yeah.
and the amount of effort that goes into like tarnishing and finishing like every knob and like
Yeah.
the Bigsby tremolo is completely redone.
Yeah,
and everything. That's
I watched the video on. I think you shared a video.
possibly
Yeah, I mean it's super interesting and true. Some of them are
a little too
really
outrageous, but
amazing. The ones that I like are the ones where he has the inlay of the wire mesh. Those are really
Yeah.
like the foil. It's like
the whole
almost like
back
a
is-
foil.
Yeah, that is a cool touch.
Yeah.
fuck, I
I
would
like
scroll over there maybe. Maybe. Anyways.
Yeah, like okay, so we're seeing one on screen right now where it's the perforated metal.
Oh, wow. That's
almost
crazy.
looks like a. I mean, what kind of? That's like a patio table. The circular.
Yeah, it's just
stamps
perforated
out of
metal.
it,
Yeah,
perforated
circle.
metal.
Circle metal.
I mean, I think that looks awesome. It does look really sick.
Keep scrolling.
I'm not really personally a fan of like the alligator metal ones. and
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Oh,
like
no.
more of the understated ones, like this one here. Like the way the pick bar,
Jeff, you can't say
I
this
know,
one here.
I
when
know,
we're
but
on-
I'm talking about pick guard here. The way
Yeah.
the pick guards are created are not yours. Like he did something interesting to the pick guards,
Yeah.
right? There's like a cool, interesting cut or engraving
Yeah.
in them. Like just even something as simple as that.
I think
Yeah.
it's
is
the
more appealing.
distressing that just throws me all
Yeah,
haywire.
I understand. I mean, it is an acquired thing for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever buy one, but I was just I was
there's
mesmerized
a
by
relic
them.
telly that looks like Joe Strummer's telly quite a bit. Like
You can't just point
I
at the
dig that.
screen.
it's so easy to do that though. Like I could get down with that, but I can't get down with $4,000.
Yeah,
They start at like $4,000, right?
Probably. Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And let's talk about the necks on those. So the necks are...
Some are metal and some are actually wood. Or I think,
like a wood back and metal fretboard?
I could be wrong. I think maybe they all are wood. There's some of the guitars are wood bodies with metal. And he's like the one that was showing had basically it's an inlay of metal over top of wood.
I mean, some of them look like Junkyard Wars.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. There's one that's the army green with the red star in the middle. And that's got some of that perforated metal in it, which is really, I think that's pretty cool. I like that. But such a wide range of people to play these. Because you really have to say, I think you really have to have a very specific musical style and probably a very specific personal style to pull one of these off.
Yep, they are individual.
Do you know of any people that of note that own these that play them on stage? I don't think I've ever seen anybody play one on stage.
I can't remember. There was I saw a female artist on later with Jules Holland.
I love that show.
That was playing one, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! She's playing that." But I know there's other people that have them just because they are collector's items, right? It's like.
Right. Well, I mean, they are actually art.
Yeah.
That's not to say other guitars aren't art. I do believe that they are like little pieces of art myself.
Yeah,
but
they're more a showpiece than
these are one-offs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, if you go to their site, they have a list of artists at the bottom. Shocker.
Yeah.
So it looks like Keith Richards has one. Billy Gibbons got one. Bob Dylan has one. It just fast forwarded for me. Billy Squier, Ziggy Marley, Joe Perry, Iggy Pop. So apparently a lot of people, but
it's for art purposes.
Yeah, I feel like they probably just have them.
It's like a collector's item.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen them played a lot on stage. But
there might be a reason for that.
Guy. Look at the finish on it.
That's
on the tone knob area and the
right.
plate.
So
tone
we'll
plate.
put up the link to this on that, and then Jeff will put his favorite of the Tressart ones on there as far as finish goes. Cool. Well, you picked an interesting one, and you did throw me off because I could have sworn you were going to pick
We
like
got a big scowl from
bird's
Cook over
eye
here.
spalted maple combination parquet floor thing with.
I'm just not a fan of painted guitars anymore. I don't know why.
I get it.
It's fine.
I dig it. Okay.
White. I like white guitars. And it's interesting because as you're over there going on and on about gold hardware.
Was I going on and on?
No, I'm kidding.
On and on.
For a long time.
There is one guitar
I've known to do that.
that I absolutely love. In particular is a white Les Paul Custom with the gold hardware.
Yeah, I dig those too, man.
That is gorgeous. But I mean, pretty much anything,
Especially if you're wearing like long tails and a top hat.
Definitely then. Which
My friend has that. My friend has that guitar, and it is nice. It's heavy as hell.
Yeah.
It
But
looks,
no, I agree. I am agreeing with you on that.
And you know, it's
is
funny.
a beautiful guitar.
My Les Paul Jr. I originally wanted to get the white one, but I would have had to have waited another 4 months to get it. And I'm like, no, I'll just get the burst now.
I wish you had gotten
I
a
know,
white one.
I know. I should have been more
Just
patient.
paint it.
with like flames.
Paint it, relic it or something.
Well,
Nobody relics Gibsons. It's really weird. I mean, that's not some. That's another show. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
I will curb that. All right, back to your
I've been
white guitar.
I tried to make my Stratocaster white and put some racing stripes on it, and it probably looks just as good as the flames did on yours.
That would have looked cool in Smash Mouth.
You know what?
you're the whipping
know.
boy today. Like,
You know what though?
I'm standing up.
Thanks, Jay. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like Smash Mouth. But anyways.
Oh, never
dude,
mind.
You just
Okay, I'm against you now.
we just lost at least
The three of the people
5
we had.
listeners of the 6 we had. So what you were saying is you were joking about that.
Who was their song?
If by
No,
like,
no,
Let's hear
absolutely
their
not.
song.
No,
Let's hear it.
don't even utter that.
All-Star.
Oh, yeah,
bastard.
okay.
No,
All
but
right.
honestly, they had a lot of good stuff that, like the stuff that wasn't on the radio was their better stuff.
Okay, but moving on, because I'm not even going to say the
Hey,
name.
you know, I'm making
Get up.
myself vulnerable here.
I know.
I don't care.
You have.
I'm a real human being.
Yeah.
We all have guilty pleasures.
Yes.
Some more
That
than
is
others.
a very guilty one. Okay, so white Les Paul
Gold.
custom.
Done.
Cool.
That's gold.
I dig it. All right, Big J.
very simple. Candy apple red. Always wanted one. A red bass or guitar. I had a maroon, kind of like a more maroon.
Now, when you're saying candy apple,
the
are you
bright
talking about,
red.
Are you talking about a flat, bright, like cherry? Are you talking about a red sparkle?
No sparkle. The red, flat, bright red.
Okay.
Not a maroon, not with the fleck in
Right.
it. Because I had a
Candy apple's the different.
Yeah,
candy
it's
apple
the-
actually has like some.
Yeah, but the old ones faded too. They would fade down and not
Yeah.
be as bright. I had a Mexican jazz bass that was more of that maroon fleck, and it was cool. But I always wanted the bright red one as a Mustang, as I'd mentioned before in previous podcasts we did. I was kind of wanted that bright candy apple.
Okay, so candy apple. So there's a different. So in candy apple.
The Mustang, you're right. The candy apple Mustang with the racing stripe, the 60.
Okay,
This
so that does have a glitter-esque, like almost like a dust, like a shimmery dust in it.
yeah, but not the dark maroon one.
No. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the red. But when you're saying the difference between just the color and when you're saying candy apple, like on an actual candy apple paint, it's multi-layers and translucency and all that business. Are you saying that stuff or?
I'm saying black. if by candy apple red you mean black, that's what I mean.
Though here's the reason that
it's-
I'm asking that is one of my old bass players, R.I.P. Robert Yelvington. He had this. See, this is what a dum-dum I was way back when. He had a
Way back
70s, yeah. He had a 70s P bass that was legitimately road worn, blue, black pick guard, and I had the brilliant idea. Hey man, we should paint that.
You go with the paint.
Spray
I
paint.
ruined a lot of guitars. Anyways, so no, we didn't spray paint it, but I was working at a Porsche restoration shop, a vintage one, and
So you had tools.
One of my friends, who was the painter guy there, I'm like, hey man, can you hook us up? And we it looked cool at the end, all right, but we painted it like candy purple.
Oh,
It was beautiful. He had a candy auto body paint job base.
Nice.
It was sick, right? And now
But there's a butt coming or something.
yeah.
the pick guard, I thought, yeah, it'd be really cool if we put grip tape on the pick guard.
That's awesome. It's a great idea.
Now, I'm not sure. It played pretty well. I mean, it played great. He ripped on it. The guy legitimately ripped. And it looked awesome because it had this, like, it was flat, but it still had a little bit of sparkle. I'm talking about the actual pick guard.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know where the crap I came up with that. But honestly, legitimately, that was a killer looking bass when it was done.
Nice.
And I got that thing painted for my friend for like $50, and I'm sure the paint costs more than that. Anyways, so
Yes, not maroon,
not maroon.
candy apple red.
Yeah. Red paint.
Red
layers
red,
and layers of lacquer.
Yep.
Red paint layers on deep. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm
always
with you.
wanted it.
Gotcha.
I've always had either a black or blue. All the other bases I had were black.
And then you can get one that's red all over.
Oh, God.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess with that, we should probably
It's a good idea.
Definitely should.
Yeah, this turkey's done. Oh, that's it for these knobs. Please join us on Facebook.com/groups/guitar knobs and tell us what you think and share your stories and guitar stuff along with ours. You can also find us at twitter.com/guitar_knobs and also at our website at guitarknobs.podbean.com.